What's going on, Big Blue Nation? Big Pat Sports Talk, and it's Reaction Mondays. You know I'll be doing True Big Blue later tonight on the podcast with G Nation. But let's go to Reaction Mondays, man. We're gonna be listening to Rob Parker and Chris Broussard talk about our Giants, and I'm gonna react, and I'm gonna let you know how I feel. Let's get it.
Super high.
All right, Giants fans, welcome to Reaction Mondays. We're going to get into some reactions, man. You know I'm bringing this back. Probably going to put this on the Patreon, man, when it really gets up and going. I love doing these reactions to ESPN columnists and see what they got to say about our Giants. And just see what they have to say about sports subjects, period. You know? Reason is because this is what I do. I'm a sports analyst at heart. I love talking about many sports subjects. Giants just happens to be my main team, as you can see. Right now, we're going to be talking about the odd couple, Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. It's on Fox Sports Radio. And I caught this little thing today, just searching on the internet today, and they actually were talking about the New York Giants today and what they would do and what should happen if things fall apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Rob Parker and Chris Broussard talk. It's going to be halfway through the little interview, and then I'm going to chime in and let you know how I feel about the subject. So let's get into it.
Chris, it's even bigger than this. And if I'm Giants ownership, I'm sorry, Dave Gettleman, done. I got to get rid of Dave Gettleman, the general manager. He was hired, Chris, ahead of the 2018 season. Through 3 seasons, Giants are 15-34, one of the worst marks in the NFL. And you already see what's happening of this season. Don't forget, he hired Pat Shurmur. You remember him, the coach, right, for lasted 2 seasons.
Yes, he did. He did hire Pat Shurmur, and we have been 15-34 with Dave Gettleman's campaign. But we all seem to forget that he came into a hot mess. So let's see what Rob Parker and teams have to say. But first things first, he said get rid of Dave Gettleman. That's a popular opinion amongst Giants fans, but hey, it is what it is. Let's go on.
Disaster. Now they gave him a second chance to hire another coach, and he brought in Judge, right? And it hasn't worked out so far. And there's other things, you know, with making a trade and when they got rid of
Odell Beckham Jr.
and whatnot, and you could say...
How about the draft, you know, Saquon Barkley, who is a fine running back, Rob, but in this day and age, second pick overall, you're drafting a running back?
Right, and Daniel Jones. So when you look at it, you can just pick out and go, oh yeah, that was awful last night. The Giants are putrid. They stink.
So, you know, I talk amongst the Miz. I talk amongst Joe. If you don't know who they are, very popular with the Giants, Giants Nation. They both have channels. You got the Miz's channel. You got Joe's channel. I talk amongst G Nation. That's my co-host for the show that we'll be doing tonight. We all pretty much think that we do stink. Let's be real. Let's be honest, Giants Nation, Big Blue. We do stink. You know, I'm gonna talk my talk. No matter what anybody thought, we do stink. But I don't think it's all Dave Gettleman's fault. Now, I will say this. I don't believe the Daniel Jones pick is as putrid as people think when you open up that playbook. He actually turned out to be dominant in that Washington game. He did. He turned out to be dominant. Like I said, you get that kid a chance to play, he's gonna show you who he is. Now, if we keep running the same offense the same way, and he turns out to be terrible, then we know who he is. But if he turns out to be pretty good, then that's a great thing for us, because now we know that we can build around Daniel Jones. Now we know that he's not a complete bust. The Saquon Barkley pick, it was a smash the first year. It's just that he's been hurt. I don't think that Dave Gettleman can look into the future and say, hey, this guy's going to be hurt most of his career, so I'm not going to draft him. You don't know that when you draft these guys. You just don't know that. And we were talking something about it last night during the Ravens and Chiefs games, me, Joel, and Miz. I don't think Dave Gettleman wanted to pick Saquon Barkley number 2 that year. I don't think he wanted to trade Odell Beckham like that. I believe that was the Mayors and Tisches that did that. And they just made Dave Gettleman the fall guy. Of all the years that you know him, Dave Gettleman, what does he pick most of the time? He picks defensive lineman, or if he does go offense, he goes big. He goes a big receiver or a big tight end. This past draft, when we drafted Kadarius Toney, you think that was Dave Gettleman's pick? I don't think so. I believe that was Joe Judge's pick. And I believe it's on Joe Judge to figure out how to use that boy. How to use Kadarius Toney. Not the boy, I mean the man, I'm sorry. How to use that man. He's a first-round pick, so obviously you felt very high of him to pick him in the first round. You need to use that man. If you don't know how to use him, hey, I have an opinion. You can go check out the video. Got up to 1,000 views so far. Thank you guys. My first video up to 1,000 views. Thank you guys, Giants Nation. You always show your support to your boy. But all those picks that he say, you don't think that he would have took what's the guard's name from the Colts, Quentin Nelson right there, number 2? If the Mayors did force him to get Saquon Barkley, I think they forced him to pick Saquon Barkley to try to make Eli Manning happy for benching him for Geno Smith, which I don't think that was McAdoo's decision. I believe it was the ownership as well. But to make it up to Eli, they try to give him one last run at it, and they pick Saquon Barkley. I believe Quentin Nelson was the pick that year. And I'm not mad at the Daniel Jones pick, because it seems if you use him correctly, he can produce. He literally just showed you that he can produce. So I can't put all the blame on Dave Gettleman. I have to put some of the blame on the owners as well, Mara and Tish. And we all know it, guys, but we don't want to say nothing about the owners, because the owners are the only ones that can't go anywhere. So that's why we don't say anything about Mara and Tish. But they have a lot to do with what's going on with this franchise. They have a lot to do with it. They do. They're the ones that really decided to pay Odell Beckham. And then when he turns out to be Odell Beckham, he turns out to be hindrance to the franchise. Now you want to get rid of him. And you put all the blame on Dave Gettleman. You let Dave Gettleman fall on that sword. Has Dave Gettleman been perfect? No. But he hasn't been absolutely terrible either. But let's continue on.
Are you kidding me? Come on, this is not good enough. 15-34? This is the general manager. He's put together this mess. He's hired the coaches who you don't like and who aren't coaching right. It's got to go to the top.
And let's lay off Joe Judge a little bit, man. The man's only had one season and 2 games. And the last season, yeah, we went 6-10, but you guys weren't saying anything like this about Joe Judge last season. You guys were praising Joe Judge. He really did turn it around. He made this team play out their minds last year with a makeshift roster. And 2 games into this year, you want him fired because we started off 0-2? That's not all Joe Judge's fault. What happened to the defense? Where's some of that blame where it needs to go? To Patrick Graham and that defense. Leonard Williams, $21 million. Where you at? Where are you guys at? Where's your pride that you had last year? Where's that Giants pride? Where's that swagger that you had last year? I don't see it. Our defense looked like somebody just smacked us and we just stood there and cried. We got smacked by the Broncos. It looked like we just stood there and cried. We didn't fight back or nothing. We just let them beat the crap out of us. Same thing with the Redskins. How can you let Tyler Heinicke look like a Pro Bowler? Over 300 yards passing. How can you do that? Was our expectations for this defense too high? Shout out to Authentic. He's always going to keep it real with us. Was our expectations for this defense way too high? And maybe that's why we're so disappointed. Maybe they overachieved too much last year and they came into this year thinking everything's going to be the same, and it's not. People got film. People know your tendencies. People know what you run in certain situations. People learn what to do to run to beat you in those situations. Do we have too much faith in our pass rush? Azeez Ojulari is a rookie. He leads us in sacks with 2. Nobody else has anything. Really, nobody else really has any pressures. And when we do get pressure, we find a way to lose the quarterback and let them stiff arm us and go make a play. Where's the pressure up the middle? Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence. Where's the pressure? Was Dalvin Tomlinson, did he mean that much? Was Dalvin Tomlinson, did he mean that much to our defense where it alters the whole way we play? Because now Blake Martinez is having to deal with guards and everything. He didn't have to deal with that when Dalvin Tomlinson was here. He was able to roam free, shoot gaps, make tackles, be all over the field. Bradbury, I know you got the pick last night that could have sealed the game, but other than that, you were getting torched by McLaurin. Where's that swagger you had last year? Adoree Jackson, if you're not fully healthy, bro, sit down. But I will say this, that was a big dude that you tried to guard, Ricky Seals-Jones, and he just made an amazing play on that catch. Jabril Peppers, where's your swag? Where's that swagger you had last year? Where's that leadership you had last year? I don't mean to turn this into a rant, but I just got to call out what I see with my team. I care about my team too much. And let's be real, if that defense plays half decent those first 2 games, we're 2-0. 2-0. At the very least 1-1, because we damn sure would have beat Washington if we played half decent defense, because that offense was cooking. So let's be a team that puts a full team effort, coaching, special teams, defense, offense. Let's stop making stupid penalties. Let's stop getting false starts when we're starting to drive into the opponent's field. When we get to the 35 to 40 yard line, let's stop the false starts. Let's stop the holding penalties there. Let's stop the stupid mistakes. Let's stop the drop passes. Let's stop dropping touchdowns or passes that can seal the game for us. Let's stop doing that. That's not Dave Gettleman. That's not even Joe Judge. That's not even Jason Garrett. Dave Gettleman can't go out there and catch that ball for Darius Slayton. He can't. Dave Gettleman can't go down there and call defensive plays. He can't. These are the same dudes last year on that defense that we had last year. What's the problem? I'll tell you what the problem is. We have no versatility. We have no pass rush. We have no heart. We have no more swag. It looks like somebody punched our defense in the chest and we just coughed and laid there on the floor. And that's why we're going through what we're going through. But let's get back to Rob Parker and Chris Broussard. Sorry. So we're going to get back into the video. See what else Rob Parker has to say.
Hey, Chris, last night it looked like Danny Dimes had a great game, and they were going to win, and they put together points against what was supposed to be a great defense, but the first 2 games of the year for Washington, I don't know about the defense, Chris. Do you? This ain't the defense from last year.
Good. They have not looked good at all. But Rob, you're right, and I do think if this season goes, it's looking like it will. I do think Gettleman will be in trouble. He might. I would think Gettleman will be gone.
I'm gonna agree with Mr. Broussard there. If Dave Gettleman and the New York Giants have a bad season and we have another top 10 pick, top 15 pick, if we don't make the playoffs, I think Dave Gettleman is gone. Unless they see a whole lot of improvement with Daniel Jones. That might be the only thing that saves him. Because whether it's fair or not, the Daniel Jones pick is on Dave Gettleman. They're pinning that pick on him, and if he doesn't pan out, they're gonna blame Dave Gettleman like they blame Gettleman for everything else. So we're gonna see. But let's continue to hear what Chris Broussard has to say.
I don't know. I'm just speculating. But if this season is horrible again, I think he's in deep trouble.
And this is 5 years in a row that this franchise.
I wouldn't get rid of Joe Judge, Rob. But
me neither. And that's another crazy thing about Giants fans. You want to get rid of Joe Judge after 1 year, 1 full year. You want to get rid of Joe Judge right now. Come on, man. Real Giants fans know you got to give a coach time. You got to give a coach time. You're not going to know who your coach is after a year and 2 games. I'm sorry. And we've been doing that for far too long, get rid of coaches after 2 years. We are turning into the Detroit Lions and the Cleveland Browns with this coaching stuff. We need to stop. Joe Judge is here to stay.
You know how it is. I keep him. It's only his 2nd year. You know how it works, though. When a new GM comes, if Gettleman's let go and a new GM comes, then now Judge is automatically on the hot seat.
But you have to bring in, right, you bring in your own guy, and this is the only problem, is like, Chris, you can lose because you don't have enough talent and whatnot. But when you start losing because of coaching, then you got to look at Judge. The stuff we talked about is coaching stuff, and that's where you should be concerned.
Only part of coaching that I have a problem with was not opening the playbook, and they did that this past game. And the defense. Now, I will say, does Joe Judge time management need to come up? Yes, it does. He needs to do a lot better with his time management. I'll give you that. His time management has been absolute trash sometimes. But he'll learn. He was a rookie coach last year. This is his 2nd year. He'll get better at that. But when it comes to coaching, like peer coaching, last year that man did a hell of a job peer coaching that team. We had no talent on that team last year. And we fought hard every game. My part of the coaching is Graham. What the hell happened to Patrick Graham? And we're going to end it there with them. The Odd Couple, if you have a chance, check out Fox Sports Radio. They actually have a pretty good show. I like listening to them sometimes. So I went on ahead and did a little thing with them. We're gonna end it there with that there. I will say this. We have a lot of work to do as a franchise. We do. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything for you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything for a Giants fan right now. We're playing trash. We deserve to be called trash until we show otherwise. When we show otherwise, then we can say some things. But we might have overrated our defense a little bit. I can agree with Authentic on that. We might have overrated our defense a little bit. But I got pride in my team, man. And I will say this, the way the Saints played, I think we got a chance to win our next 3 games because Dallas hasn't overly impressed me. They look like the same Dallas team they've always been. I believe we can get them. We open up that offense and score points with them. I believe we can get them. I believe we can beat the Saints. If the Panthers can hold them to 7 points, why can't we? Same amount of talent on those defenses. I think we have more talent on offense. I think we can battle with the Atlanta Falcons. We should beat the Atlanta Falcons. They're terrible. Let's just be honest. But that was my take. You know, it's Reaction Mondays. I'll be doing reaction videos. Like I said, I will be starting a Patreon soon. And you can see more videos like these. You can see more of my live play-by-plays on my Patreon starting soon. Going ahead and get that set up for you guys. For true fans, I'll have more videos like these and more live play-by-plays. I may do live play-by-plays of college games, the Thursday night games on the Patreon if you want to check it out on the Patreon. But I'd like to thank everybody. My first video got up to 1,000 views. Kadarius Toney. You guys can look at it, see how he should be used. I believe I did a great job of displaying his skill set to where it could benefit us. But we gotta win this week coming up, man. This is a very important game. We cannot start 0-3. We start 0-3, I think things start to crash and burn. But hey, I got faith in my Giants team, and I'll see you guys later tonight. True Big Blue Podcast with G Nation. Shout out to all the Giants fans, all the Giants Nation. And until then, like, subscribe, hit that bell. And we have merch. As you can see, you can get the merch. Big Pat Sports Talk merch. You can get yourself a bag, you get yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie, face mask, a mug, mason jar. We got everything that you need for kids, for your wife, for your husband. Go ahead and cop that Big Pat Sports merch, man, and support the movement. But until the next video, peace.
Super high.